You know, it kind of just clicked for me actually, Tim, when you asked that. I don't think actually, I think there might be a very strong case to be made that they're actually aware that Trump is going to win. And what they're doing is they're getting World War III started. So he has to deal with that. They just started cutting rates in the economy. So there will be a crazy crash recession thing. It's like that just always will follow what we're doing there in the economy. So it looks more like what might be happening is they're setting up the worst possible administration for him to deal with. So they can run their media wheels on him again and divide the nation further and try to do a rerun of his first presidency. And hopefully then capitalize on that division after that.
I agree. I think the escalations in the Middle East and Ukraine may be intentional because they want Trump to inherit a war that he cannot get out of. They want Trump to inherit an economy where they can say, we warned you.
We never fold. What would the world be like if Donald Trump won? Whole lot less COVID and more fun. There'll be a lot more love for the common man, working together to make America great again. How's a small town business owner supposed to win when almost everything he makes goes to Uncle Sam? Politicians get richer, middle class get taxed. All that white supremacy, we don't stand by that. So I don't understand when they say he don't like blacks. When he free Lil Wayne and Kodak Black. People losing their jobs cause they won't get backs. They'll suspend you from school if you take off your mask. Heard they killed the Uber driver at the red light. Seen the story on the news watching last night. News anchor say the killer was a drug addict. And Joe Biden here giving free crack pipes. Trying to take away our guns, give us heroin. Treating half the population like experiments. I know Trump was an asshole, arrogant. But looking back, he was a damn good president. Love Trump's hate, love Trump's hate. Faith Trump's fear, faith Trump's fear. Unify race, unify religion. I finally feel the revolution is here. Love Trump's hate, love Trump's hate. Faith Trump's fear, faith Trump's fear. I still wonder what the world be like if we had a straw for more years. Eminem took a knee during the Super Bowl act. Some say it was for Tupac, some say it was for Cap. As far as his performance, he absolutely snapped. National anthem wasn't playing, so I saw no disrespect. Joe Rogan used the N-word on his podcast, but he keep it so real, Snoop gave him a G-pass. I understand that this land has a deep past. I'm truly sorry, how them crackers used to treat blacks. Native Americans were here before Columbus, so the truth is they the ones who discovered this country. I became a sponge to the information I studied. The whole pandemic was all about making money. Sell a vaccine, if that don't work, sell another one. If that don't work, sell a booster in another one. Corona played out, so they changed the name to Omicron. I see through the bullshit, I know I'm not the only one. Create a bright future for my newborn son. Educate him about the world while he's still young. I tell him Trump was a douche who was arrogant, but that man was a damn good president. Love Trump's hate, love Trump's hate. Faith Trump's fear, faith Trump's fear. Unify race, unify religion. I finally feel the revolution is here. Love Trump's hate, love Trump's hate. Faith Trump's fear, faith Trump's fear. I still wonder what the world be like if we had it strong for more years.
These are incredible people. We just met some of the survivors and family members, and what they've been through is incredible. One woman lost 10 people in her family, and an incredible woman, and I said, how did it go? She said, I lost 10 people. And later, we met the governor. We met with Brian a little while ago, and he's very engaged.
Let's see what you liberals have to say now that a founding trustee of the Heritage Foundation, who wrote Project 25, openly endorses Kamala Harris. So is she pro Project 25 now? Yeah, I want to hear you liberals justify that.
Look, they don't really like Donald Trump. Why? Cause the media tell them not to. Wait, so they don't really think for themselves? No, they get what they think from the news. And every time they open their mouth, they sound like a doggone fool. They insult your character, coming with hate, but never come with the truth. So I don't like going back and forth with somebody that think that Kamala is the one for the job. I'd be a clown, cause these the same people that think the attempted assassination was a fraud. So where do they live? It can't be reality. Their stupidity's getting so baffling. In the comment section coming after me, they get pissed cause I'm not further battling. What do? Hate. And what are they? Mad. Mad at what? The truth. What kind of life they live? Sad. Wait, what do? Hate. And what are they? Mad. Mad at what? The truth. What kind of life they live? Sad.
He's so transparent. You wanted him to put on a suit and act dignified, like the thieves and robbers that dress in suits and tell lies. You wanted him to be like that. And you're angry because he's your reflection. He's an anomaly. You can't make him what you desire him to be so that you can say, oh, that's my president. He wasn't made that way. God has him here. What did you say, Farrakhan? Do you think that God is not interested in who is president of the United States of America? Especially when it's out of the time of evil? It's in our time now? Mr. Trump, he's like a gangster.
You have to give Trump some credit for how he projects dominance when dealing with foreign leaders. Netanyahu, often regarded as one of the world's most aggressive and hardline leaders, seemed diminished next to Trump. During their recent meeting at Mar-a-Lago, Trump made it clear who was in charge. In a display of physical dominance, Trump yanked Netanyahu's hand so hard during their handshake that he lost his balance. That was just the beginning. Trump then gripped Netanyahu's wife's shoulders with both hands and called her his secret weapon, implying that Netanyahu follows whatever his wife says, thereby undermining his authority. While some might view these actions as inappropriate, for Trump it was a display of dominance. Netanyahu likely felt humiliated, as any man would, but all he could do was smile and remain silent out of fear.
He's like a gangster. He's like a gangster.
Do you guys remember when Trump threatened to start a whole war over ASAP Rocky?
Trump was the first to arrive, walking slowly toward North Korea in the no man's land of the demilitarized zone, or DMZ. Then Kim Jong-un emerged, walking faster to catch up. The two leaders shook hands, Trump on South Korean soil, Kim Jong-un in the north.
Good to see you again. I've never expected to meet you at this place. Do you feel, Excellency, take a step forward? You will be the first U.S. president to cross the border.
They were separated only by a narrow concrete strip, the demarcation line between the two Koreas. President Trump asked and was invited to cross.
I asked him, I said, would you like me to come across the line? He said, I would be honored to do that. I would be honored. Now, I didn't know really what he was going to say, but it was my honor to do it.
The first sitting American president to set foot on North Korean soil. Kim Jong-un then stepped over the line into South Korea. It was chaotic. That President Trump wanted to do this had been circulating for weeks. But the details clearly only came together in the last minute. Security, camera crews, North Korean television got in each other's way. But real history is often messy.
We came over and I said, hey, I'm over here. I want to call Chairman Kim. And we got to meet, and stepping across that line was a great honor. A lot of progress has been made. A lot of friendships have been made, and this has been in particular a great friendship.
Then the North Korean leader, President Trump, and his advisors and family members went in for extended talks.
And I want to thank Chairman Kim for something else. When I put out the social media notification, if he didn't show up, the press was going to make me look very bad. So you made us both look good, and I appreciate it. But we've developed a great relationship.
The demilitarized zone is one of the most unique and tense places on Earth. 160 miles long, 2.5 miles wide, it straddles the border between North and South Korea, with the demarcation line running up the middle. The zone was set up in 1953 after the Korean War to de-escalate hostilities, a safe place where enemies can meet. Today being used exactly what it was built for. What was supposed to be 5 minutes lasted over an hour.
You might not agree with Trump on many issues, but you have to admit that his boldness forces other world leaders to think twice before challenging.
He's like a gangster.
I'll give you my favorite President Trump story. This is my #1 favorite of all time. When we were negotiating with the Taliban, while President Trump was still the president, President Trump wanted to get out of Afghanistan, but he wanted a conditions-based withdrawal, meaning that you do what we tell you to do, and then we will start pulling troops back slowly as long as you abide by our rules. It's President Trump and Mike Pompeo, and they are talking to Taliban leadership in the room, and they had one translator in the room. President Trump looked at the Taliban leader and said this: I want to leave Afghanistan, but it's going to be a conditions-based withdrawal. And translator translated. And he said, if you harm a hair on a single American, I'm going to kill you. And the translator goes, and Trump goes, tell him that.
Yes.
Tell him what I said. Tell him what I said. Reached in his pocket, pulled out a satellite photo of the leader of the Taliban's home and handed it to him.
Shut up.
Got up and walked out the room.
Sure did.
Do you know for 18 months not a single American was killed in Afghanistan?
Sure did.
That's the definition of strength.
Because of Trump's way, he is an anomaly. There's never been no president quite like Mr. Trump. There's something that he's doing. Trump is destroying every enemy that was an enemy of our rise. Who's the enemy of our rise? Is it the Department of Justice, where we get none? Is it Congress, where you make a law that favors us and then you turn around and destroy it? Is it the media that has destroyed every black leader that stood up for us? Martin Luther King suffered it. Malcolm suffered it. He's attacking the media, calls it fake news. We have been the victims of some fake news.
Yes.
He's beating up the FBI. Go at it, baby. Yeah. They've been beating the hell out of us ever since J. Edgar Hoover and the counter.
I think a lot of black people can't help but wake up right now when it comes to politics. Let's be honest. If the Democrats were for black people, wouldn't black people be doing a lot better up under Biden than they were Trump? Well, think about it. The rent is up 18%. Groceries are up 44%. Gas prices is up 39%. Grain is up 29%. Interest rates for you to buy a house, 7%. All these things hurt the average American. Americans are running out of money. I don't care what race you are, what color you are, your survival is the most important thing. That's why I tell people to not vote off your race. You voting off your personal survival. Even if Biden did something specifically for black people right now, what would it matter if everything else is messed up? What would it matter if you can't buy a house? Your income doesn't match the inflation. Think of people have to open up their minds right now and see what's really going on. And even white liberals should be able to understand that. But hey, common sense ain't too common now, is it?
Well, if I'm completely honest with you, if I would have had the opportunity to vote in that election for lying Hillary or crazy Trump, I probably would have voted for Trump myself.
After years of building up other countries, we are finally building up our country, standing up for our workers and fighting for our forgotten communities. The first and highest duty of government is to take care of its own citizens. African Americans built this nation. You built this nation. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to get, you built the nation. We all built it, but you were such a massive part of it. Bigger than you were given credit for. Does that make sense? Right? But through generations of blood, sweat, and tears, and you deserve a government that defends your interests, protects your families, and cares for our own citizens. African Americans built this nation through generations of blood, sweat, and tears. And you, like all of our citizens, are entitled to a government that puts your needs, your interests, and your families first.
First and foremost, Trump is not a politician. Trump is a businessman. So Trump believes in his ego that he can do a deal with anybody. We need to do a deal with an American president. We want some land. We want a state or territory that we can call our own. So Mr. Trump may be the man to do business with, first. Secondly, Mr. Trump, you know, many white people are very upset with Mr. Trump. Do you want to know why they're so upset with Mr. Trump? Because Mr. Trump is one of these Americans who shoots from the hip or shoots from the lip. In other words, whatever comes into his head, he says it. Politicians are not like that. You can sit a politician down in a studio for 3 hours and ask him 3 questions and you will never get an answer. Trump is not like that. Trump will blurt out the answer. That's why many white people, especially people in power, are very upset with Mr. Trump because he says what they think, but they will never say it. They're all racist. Trump is no more racist than Bush. Trump is no more racist than Clinton. They're all racist, but they are good lying racists. Trump is a racist who just can't help himself. He just lets it all out. And these white people are embarrassed. Shut your mouth, they're saying. You are embarrassing us because he reveals the true way and the true heart. See, look, ask me a question. Would I prefer an enemy smiling in my face, sidling up to me and putting his arm around my shoulder, and then surreptitiously stabbing me in my back? Or would I prefer an enemy who looks at me in my face and says, I don't like you, I'm your enemy? Give me the second enemy any day. I like to know my enemy. Trump makes it clear where he's coming from. I like that kind of white man. I would have voted for that kind of white man. Because, by the way, that's the kind of white man black people need.
My administration is fighting with everyone and all our heart to reverse the pain inflicted by Democrat leaders and to deliver hope and opportunity and prosperity for all Americans, but for African American communities all throughout our land.
Is Trump a racist?
I don't think so. I've talked to a number of black entrepreneurs who back in the late 80s and 90s, early 90s, were trying to get financing. They couldn't. Somebody told them to go check with Donald Trump. They come back and tell me they got a loan from Donald Trump. He gave them a term loan. Show up with the interest and the principal, one check, but they had to go see him personally. They independently relate this tale that when they saw him, he said, this what you supposed to pay me? This our agreement? I said, yeah. And then tore the check up, shook their hands, and congratulations. Now run your business. He didn't have any problem with dating a black woman, walking her down red carpets. Most people don't know this. He was the finance man behind Jesse Jackson's 2 runs for president.
Think about that, man. Why won't Kamala and them go look at what Ice Cube put down? Biden wouldn't look at it. No Democratic looked at it. Trump went and peeked at it. Yeah. And Ice Cube got a lot of flack from black people because he let Trump look at it. You're supposed to let both of them look at it and see who can do what. Why are we stuck on one side? Why do we only look at one side of the coin? Why don't we ever look at both sides of the coin and try to make a decision? Why do we blindly vote Democrat? Have you ever asked yourself that? Why? And Democrats have never done nothing for black people ever in the history of America. Zero. Other than giving them government entitlements. So let me just say this. The Democratic and the Liberal Party is our slave plantation because that's where we come from as slaves. And that's facts. So you got some people say, well, the party switched during Lyndon B. Johnson. No. The Democrats became very clever during Nixon's Southern strategy. It was called Nixon's Southern strategy, not LBJ. LBJ was the one that came along and said, I'm going to have these voting Democrat for the next 200 years. It's only been 50 years. So we got another 150 years before we change our voting pattern by way of L.B. Johnson, the Democratic president. And he called us, he said it. I'm going to have these voting Democrat for the next 200 years. That's why you vote Democrat. You're programmed to do it. That's why you get mad to try to think to do anything different. Because you're conditioned and you're programmed because you eat out of their hands. They gave your mama food stamps. They gave your grandmama Section 8. They gave you free lunch. You appreciate that free lunch, don't you? Poor black children, you at school, your mama didn't send you to school with no breakfast, did she? You didn't go to school with no sack lunch. Don't you appreciate that free lunch, black people? So keep voting Democrat with your miseducational school system.
He's like a gangster.
Idiotic, small-minded prosecution. This will likely all backfire. In fact, it already is backfiring. Americans are very smart people, and they see what's going on. This is a persecution disguised as a prosecution.
I would dismiss it on its face because it fails to state a crime.
Since 7 years ago, this country still screaming Trump 2024. Make America, make America.